SBC Media.
Welcome to iGaming Daily, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe. Supported by SBC Summit Barcelona, the industry-leading conference bringing you the future of sports betting and iGaming.
SBC Summit Barcelona is the fastest growing sports betting and iGaming event in the industry, happening on the 19th to the 21st of September. Experience the entire global industry coverage under one roof, with 15,000 delegates, over 350 exhibitors, and so much more. Get your tickets now at sbcevents.com.
The second quarter financial season is well and truly underway, with results coming across the SBC news desk thick and fast. And in today's episode of iGaming Daily, sponsored by SBC Summit Barcelona, I am joined by Bragg Gaming Group's co-founder and chief strategy officer, Yaniv Spielberg, to go through the firm's latest Q2 results, which has again experienced record numbers. First off, welcome, Yaniv. How are you doing today?
I'm great, James. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. You know, you've got a busy day today because, you've just released your results. So thank you for taking time out to talk to us on this.
Absolutely.
Let's dive into these. And Yaniv, can you just highlight some of the key figures from your report in Q2?
Yeah, so you mentioned, we've achieved a record quarter. Once again, we're very excited about the numbers and the performance of the business. Our revenues quarter over quarter from last year to this year rose 18%, 18.9% to a record 24.7 million euros. Our gross profits rose as well, 18.9% to 13.8 million euros. And our adjusted EBITDA grew 51% to 4.7 million euros. And of course, given the strong H1 trading, we updated our full year 2023 guidance range for a revenue range of 95 to 97 million euros and adjusted EBITDA range of 15.5 to 16.5 million euros.
Some really good eye-catching results. And the one there is another record quarter. You've improved from your Q1 result, which was your previous record. What do you attribute the growth to?
Yeah, so first I want to thank the team, the Braggers that have made all of this possible. We have a really strong team all over the world, over 450 people now, working hard to grow the business. I think we continue to sign landmark deals with global gaming operators. We go live in new markets. Our tech stack, including our player account management, our proprietary content, our powered by Bragg content, our aggregated content, perform really well. We position ourselves as a must-have B2B gaming partner and supplier. And of course, in addition to that, as a B2B supplier, it's really nice to see that some of our clients are growing. And by extension of that, we generate more revenues.
And, your wagering revenue generated by Bragg Games and content in the second quarter, that rose by 31.2% to, I believe it was 5.5 billion euros. Why have we seen such a big percentage increase in your games and content?
It's an interesting question because the wagering is an operational KPI that we measure the end user's plays, the play on all of our games under the Bragg Gaming Group. It's the proprietary content, as I mentioned, the powered by Bragg content and the aggregated content. To some extent, it's correlated to the revenues that we generate. And as you can see, and we discussed, our revenues for the quarter grew 19%. So some of the growth in the revenue is translated to higher wagering based on the different product offering. In addition, and to give a little bit more context, our performance in the Dutch market, for example, has been exceptionally well during the second quarter. Our Dutch customers spend considerable marketing dollars to acquire new players, and that turned into content and games wagering for us as a B2B provider.
And kind of one of the things you've already mentioned, the Dutch market, I kind of like to do a little world tour. So you've given a little hint into the Netherlands already, but can you just delve into how Bragg's US operations performed in the second quarter?
Absolutely. Our second quarter operations continue to scale and expand. The US is the fastest growing iGaming market in the world. This year, it's going to be the biggest iGaming market in the world, topping the UK iGaming market. During the second quarter of 2023, we launched new content portfolio in Pennsylvania for the first time with the leading operator there, Rush Street Interactive. We're also now live in 4 of the largest iGaming states in the US, being Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, and Connecticut, with new content, and we continue to roll out operator brands in these states, further expanding our reach. Since the second quarter, we also launched new content with leading operator FanDuel in Michigan and Connecticut, and with the popular gaming brand WinBet in New Jersey. I guess in the near future, we continue and plan to expand and ramp up our rollout with key strategic partners in various states. And we expect to be live with every customer in the US, or at least 90% of the customers in the US, with our proprietary content and powered by Bragg by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. And in your report, your Q2 report, you stated your outlook and summary that you aim to extend and expand in partnerships. This might be a bit of a cheeky question from me, but are there any operators currently in the pipeline that you might be able to hint at that, you might be closing a deal soon?
Yeah, so look, optimizing key customer partnerships for the long term is like you said, hinting into the future. Mm-hmm. What we've seen in the past is we've seen great momentum with key customers, mainly around our turnkey proposition and proprietary content. After launching and grabbing market share, we're now focused on extending and expanding some of these key partnerships. Some of these partners, such as Flatter and 888, where we have legacy contracts, we've been proactively engaged, expanding the range of the markets and the brands that we use and we're able to access. We're aiming to have direct integrations with all of them, which will allow us to offer more games and products, including our player account management, our products and services, our games and content, and of course, a Fuse player engagement platform that has been received really well in the market.
Perfect. And I'm gonna ask quite a similar question, but kind of on a broader aspect. So, are there any markets where Bragg currently doesn't have, a presence that appeals to the company, and we might see a little bit of movement in the not so distant future?
Bragg's elevator pitch is that we're iGaming global gaming company. And to be a global gaming company, we need to be in a lot of markets globally. There are markets that we entered, and I think that we've made some first initial steps. Mexico is one of these examples where we signed a deal with Caliente. Mm-hmm. Of course, we want to grow and expand our reach in the Mexican market, but not just the Mexican market. We're talking about Latin America as a market as a whole, where iGaming is starting to become legal in various jurisdictions, and we want to have a first mover's advantage and grow our presence in these growing markets.
Mm-hmm. And just off the back of that, in Latin America, what specific region probably appeals to you the most?
Brazil had passed some legislation about iGaming and sport betting. Yeah. Argentina is following the same footsteps, and then there's Colombia and Peru. And of course, the Mexican market, which is a significant market that we haven't been making as much stride as we want. We want to grow our presence there as well.
Perfect. Yeah, no, definitely Brazil is one of the markets which is, we have it on iGaming Daily every week. There's always a constant update, and it's intriguing to see where they're going and the potential size of that market. So it'll be interesting to see. Bragg, if you make that early move in there, it'll be interesting to see how you perform. Just back onto the Q2 results, though. I always love to say a phrase. I like to get my crystal ball out and look into the future. But what are the key takeaways from the second quarter results that you actually want to look to build on in Q3?
I think the first and most important thing is to look at the second quarter as a record first quarter, record first half for revenue and adjusted EBITDA, mm-hmm. including positive net income. So we're now generating cash and we're keeping the cash. We're also utilizing this free cash flow to repay our debt, of course, further deleveraging the business. Mm-hmm. We can see from the numbers, we can see from the jurisdictions that our content-led strategy is showing early signs of success. And of course, as we discussed, we have ongoing key commercial negotiations aiming to extend and expand partnerships. And then finally, I think that's the key takeaway, the strong current trading from the first half resulted in an updated 2023 guidance, which we're very excited about, and we want to continue to grow the business in the second half of the year and, of course, in years to come.
Mm-hmm. And just before we move on to the final question, I do have a kind of a follow-up to that one, because you mentioned about your debt. How much have you got left to pay off on the debt, and when could you expect that to be debt-free?
At the end of the quarter, second quarter, we had $7 million. And mm-hmm. since that, we further reduced it by $1 million in July and in August. So we only have $6 million left of debt. We expect to be able to repay that from free cash flow, of course, subject to continued strong performance. And we're looking forward to paying it in about 12 months. By the end of next year, it will all be paid.
Perfect. Good stuff. And the final question, again, we'll look forward. What are your expectations now moving into Q3, and more emphasis actually on the second half of the year?
I think that given the takeaways from the first quarter, the first half mentioned, we look forward to another successful quarter. In Q3, we're looking to grow and expand our footprint, both in markets that we're already operational in and in markets that we continue to grow into. I feel like we continue to execute against our strategic objectives, and we aim at delivering great results, of course, in the next quarter and for the remainder of the year. And hopefully that strong current trading will continue into 2024 and beyond.
Perfect. Yaniv, I think Bragg have actually set a trend now, or they're going to set a trend that they're going to keep getting record numbers quarter after quarter moving forward. So, again, thank you for joining us. It's been great to talk to you about Bragg's second quarter results. For the listeners out there, if you want to find out a bit more about Bragg's performance in the financial area in the second quarter, I'll put links in the description below for you to check out from Casino Beats' website and any other website across the SBC Media roster websites. But on that note, Yaniv, thank you for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And to our listeners out there, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of iGaming Daily, brought to you in conjunction with SBC Summit Barcelona, being held at the Fira Barcelona Montjuic on the 19th to the 21st of September. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.